Hey guys, it's Matt. This is Midnight Reality. Welcome back to the Quantum of Conscience channel. One of the last bastions where the few thousand of us that are left, just a few thousand people left on Earth that are still sane, that can actually see through this ridiculous reality meltdown and the bozo show being presented all around us. We come here because it's nice to know there are still some people out there, just a few of us, that see the world the way we do. Checking CNN.com to make sure there's no status change on Tucson, I see the main headline is Heat Wave will intensify and expand this weekend. Al Gore must be very proud. Think how proud he is. After 25 years of peddling his wares, his carpet bag, taking it city to city all over the world, he can finally sit back in his gigantic, fat, double watermelon belly and say, I was right. I said New York would be underwater by 2014. That's not a joke. I make many jokes here. That's not something like 2014 to 2016. He said New York City, Lower Manhattan would be underwater. But now he can finally take his revenge, sit back with a gigantic margarita and a giant stuffed belly and say, I told you bastards, I was right. And just one day after I did both videos on the Prisoner series, 1967, with the bicycle being the main logo or symbol of the entire series, the synchronicities started with you all. And people started to send things in to me that they were seeing the penny far thing. After being told 100 times how to pronounce it, you don't think I'm going to actually try to pronounce it correctly, do you? In Philly, it's not $50, it's penny far thing. Now, I got a lot more than just what I'm showing you. These are the kind people that sent me the images of what they came across. There were other emails. It wasn't hundreds and hundreds or anything. And if anybody's saying, well, how come I didn't get the synchronicity, Matt? Am I an NPC? I didn't see the penny far thing the day after you mentioned it. Why are the sir? Look, this reality, first and foremost, needs to be believed in. It's not going. These synchronicities aren't going to happen to everybody. We trade turns in terms of seeing through this reality. This reality is greater than we are while we are here. Let me repeat that. This reality needs to be believed in. It is greater than we are while we are confined to the little avatar, the little weak little body. Overall, obviously, we're much larger. Okay, I need to say this for the people coming in. Much larger spiritual being, greater than this reality times trillions probably. But while we're here, this little manifestation of us, the reality is greater. Certain people were just triggered and they got their back up. And how dare you say the reality is greater than me as a spiritual being? While you're here, it is. It's okay. We're here to experience the low. I can prove it to you. Go out to where people catch trains or something. You go ahead. Go ahead. They know. Go ahead. Float the train up in the air. Float the train up in the air. Go ahead like Yoda. Can't do it, right? There's things called laws of physics here. And if you have a brick in your hand and you drop it and your foot's out, ouch. Ouch! That's just what the way. Embrace the low. It's okay. While you're here, the reality's greater. The point is, we can't all see the synchronicities. Reality. We're not here. We're not going to be able to completely break reality. Okay, if I say, picture an elephant with a lion's tail. Everybody right now, picture an elephant with a lion. Okay, it's a lion's mane, or I don't know, whatever. Come on, focus on it. We're all going to see it. We're all going to run into it on stamps tomorrow. There's going to be billboards of elephants with a lion's mane selling cigarettes and all. It won't happen. and if somebody's saying, well, Matt, let's just do the odds here. How many people listen to you talk about the penny far thing and how many thousands? And then because you made that object significant, then people are looking for it, where that son of a bitch, whoever sent this into you, this door or whatever, would have walked right by it. But because you made the penny far thing significant, then that son of a bitch noticed it, see? And it became significant just because your dumbass video. No, we have to factor that in. I have to take that into account. I have to adjust for that. But it was more than that. And we can't all see it. Again, focus on the elephant with the lion's mane and then everybody tomorrow sees it. Then we'd be breaking reality. And it wasn't designed this way. It wasn't designed. We're probably breaking it more than it should be broken. But it wasn't. It was designed while you're here. You are subservient to its rules. And we break it more than most, probably with these synchronicities and other things. But overall, the reality has to be believed in. And it was designed, the reality itself, whatever your religion is or whatever your God is or whether you believe in higher self, it was designed, this place was designed by something far more powerful by orders of trillions than what we are while we're here. Maybe not after death, but while we're here. Bill did a Truman Show poster for us, and if you're driving or something, and I'll describe it. There's not too many things you're going to need to see during a midnight reality, but this is more appropriate for this presentation than it is for, say, a Not Nelk image show on freevoice.io. The bittersweet moment when a real person realizes that there's something on earth with us that is diabolically working against us. Not the Truman Show, the Not Nelk Show. It shows Jim Carrey. As usual, he's got the Melvin and Bezos. Other than Elon Musk, Melvin and Bezos, Melvin is Bill Gates, for anybody new. They make almost as many appearances in Bill's posters as Elon Musk. Here, Melvin is dressed as a little girl or something. Oh, there's Elon. Elon's there, and also as the moon, taking the shot to the right eye. So this is like the Truman Show, but everybody around us, they don't know they're acting. They're just following the script of the Not Nelk because they're on the frequency download and radio station. Everybody around us believes they have complete free will, if you can believe that, when they're actually following some sort of script or on some sort of download. But then a real person, this is the few of us that are left that I kind of alluded to in the opening minute of this video, the few of us that are left, at some point there's that bittersweet moment when a real person realizes there's something on earth, there's something here with us. That person on television isn't the same as I am, isn't spiritually the same. And it's working against me. It's trying to block me. And it always boils down, for anybody new, then we'll move on to the same one sentence. You're here on earth in a very short lifetime to do certain things for your spiritual whole. There's something here on earth trying to block you from doing those things for your spiritual whole. It's not a half page, it's one sentence. Is anybody going to argue that there's a bad guy here? Well, if you're a truth researcher, whether you're first grade or whatever, you see that at least. Okay, there's a bad guy here. But what's the bad guy? This is where the first grade and the fifth grade truther just comes up short. What's it want? What is it out to do? Oh, it wants money. No, all that first grade stuff. Once you finally get through all the classes and put in all the work and all the years of truth and research and all the bullshit that we've gone through, it's not of anything physical at all. It's the spiritual battle that Christians talk about. Of course, it's a spiritual battle. It's trying to block you from doing something that a part of you needs from this place. So you graduate into that. Its motives are very simple. If it's doing that, it's rewarded. It gets energy. It sucks loosh, whatever its petty rewards. It's given something for playing its role, but that is its role here. Let's do it one quick time. The reality was created this way so you could overcome it. It's not hijacked. It was hijacked. It was just lube under trees. Nope. It was created this way. To me, this is obvious at this point. Real quick, if anybody's new, saying this person seemed to be making some sense, but then they screamed out hijacked, or what the hell's going on here? Let me explain what just happened there, if anybody's new. See, the people here, or I can speak for a lot of the old guard, we don't see that the reality is completely hijacked. Many of us believe that this is basically what was intended for us to do what we're supposed to do here, learn something, to triggered alert, learn something and then get out. See, I think, maybe, of course I'm biased, but I'll say the first grade truth, the third grade truth, the fifth grade, fourth grade truther. See, what they will say, no, it wasn't supposed to be this way. The reality in some way was hijacked, which really doesn't make any sense. You came here for what then? What'd you come in here for? Again, it was just roller coasters and lube under trees. What did you come here for? Is it that great? Is this the Risa pleasure planet from Star Trek where you can ask for Mirajaron or whatever from The Help? What did you come here for if it wasn't going to be or expected to be a hardcore spiritual ass-kicking experience to learn and take something from? What'd you come here for? It's so great just lying on those beaches was supposed to be fun. And then the evil doers, the evil element came in and hijacked the reality. But see, I always go back to the same. So you're really smart from Davenport. So the incredibly powerful God-like being or beings that are trillions of times more powerful than anything we can comprehend while in the human body and avatar, those beings that created the entire reality, they saw the hijack happening, but they couldn't do anything about it. So the Melvin and Bezos are, you're really smart and you're 22 mile to Davenport. They're more powerful than the being that created the reality. The being that created the reality wasn't able to come in and stop the hijack. Yeah, it doesn't really hold water. Does the defense's case hold water? Well, no, that's Vinny said that. Does the defense's case hold water? And it was Ms. Vito that said, no, the defense's case does not hold water. That case does not hold water. Why'd you come here in the beginning? So great, lying on that beach, and they told you, what you came here for your Rita's water ice or something? And then when the hijack happened, the godlike beings, trillions of times more powerful than anything you can possibly fathom, they were unable to stop it. Come on, sir. Look around at these bad guys. I have Bill's poster available, so I'll go right back to it. Do these bad guys look like the type of entity that could hijack an entire reality and trap real spiritual beings? Look at these jokers. Are you kidding me? These fools. They're masters of their own domain, whatever that meant from Seinfeld. They are big fish in a really, 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 really tiny pond, which is the Earth closed system. They're meant to be big fish here. They're meant to be assholes. This, in terms of all that there ever will be and all that there ever was, this little Earth system, whatever Stephen Hawking points up to in the air with his voice, it's not very big. It's not significant regarding all that ever was and will be. These things here are not capable of hijacking entire reality and completely trapping real spiritual beings. What does your inner knowing tell you? Well, Matt, saying something with confidence doesn't make it right. Repeating a thing don't improve it. Forget what I say. Put me on pause. What does your inner knowing tell you? I'll pause for 5 seconds. What does your inner tuning fork say? That these clowns... Look at the news. I know they're minions for greater evils. Yeah, I know. It's not my first video. I know. They know. But come on. This is what it was meant to be. They didn't hijack anything. Give me a break. For anybody that hasn't seen the original Heavy Metal and doesn't know what the Lochnar is, the following 45 seconds will be pretty ridiculous, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's a great way of making a point. So the opening scene in Heavy Metal comes upon, she's the last of her warrior race or something, this evil glow. It is the Satan of the Heavy Metal cartoon from like 1980s. Look upon me. I am the Lochnar. I come with Bill Gates and Bezos and Elon Musk and AI apps to hijack your reality. Oh yeah, and she should say, get out of here. If she was really talking back to when she was the last of this warrior race, this represents this real spiritual being that we are, she'd say, first of all, you ain't supposed to be emerald green no more. You're supposed to be magenta. If they're going to make Heavy Metal Part 3, they did Part 2, Heavy Metal 2000. The next one, it would be a gigantic magenta glowing ball. With free AI apps, you can plug your phone right into the damn Lochnar. She said, get your AI magenta ball out of my face. This is a joke. You teaming up with the likes of Bill Gates and you expect you teaming up with Dr. F and you expect to accomplish something? Get your glowing ball out of my face. That's what we say anyway. On this one, I asked Bill to insert the famous gentrification scene from Boys in the Hood, something I love to repeat and do, and it's very true. So it's kind of relevant to the whole theme here. And see, Bill's themes go back even to the Reagan era. It's not just how reality's breaking down now. He'll go back to a fake world all the way back through Reagan. And Nancy Reagan, I want an all-out war on drugs. It was just about the Reagan era where they said, we need to have a war on drugs. And you know what that means to people that can see through the reality? That they're going to bring more in. So it says, Ronnie says, what the heck, war on drugs? Nancy, we've been shipping the drugs in here for decades. And, well, go watch the movie like Kill the Messenger. And, they have some truth in a lot of their media that, let's just say, well, this group over here is trying to stop it, but this group over here is actually facilitating it. We all know that, Matt. Pootie Tang Award on you. You know why I can get away with what I say without any Pootie Tang Awards? Because I can always say there's some new people here that don't know what you do. So the Pootie Tang Award on Matt never sticks, because even if it doesn't exist, I could say there's some first grade truther that's here, and I'm speaking to them. So the gentrification scene with his name's is his name Sirius? I think his name's Sirius. Going back to insert, his name's Furious, not Sirius. The character, the Lawrence, the cool, thin, muscular, ass-kicking Lawrence Fishburne character before he became the fat Lawrence Fishburne in some of the other, especially in Biker Boys. He was really fat in Biker Boys, but this is a cool scene. He goes out to a part of Watts or Compton where even Trey and Ricky are scared. They're scared to go into this part. Imagine what happened to Matt when he got dumped off the 105 freeway in Watts. I'm not joking. It was a good thing it was early in the morning. A construction project. I said, "You want me to get off here? Are you out of your mind?" Hell no. No, I was trying to pick somebody up at the airport. It took me 105 east. I couldn't even go 105 west to the damn LAX airport, and I got dumped down in Watts. It's not a joke. Matt, that's racist. You shouldn't be scared. Oh yeah, sure. Even Ricky was scared. So let's just Matt, what does this have to do with reality and seeing as a spiritual beings? Nothing. But this is good. So just give me another minute. The cool Lawrence Fishburne, he's given his famous gentrification speech to his son Trey and Ricky in Compton and Watts, or just probably blocks where I got dumped off the freeway. And then all the hoodlums start to come up, and he's saying there's a gun store in every corner, there's a liquor store in every corner, and he implies, you can get the drugs, and he doesn't. I don't think he flat out says that the system brings them in, but basically, how you think all this stuff gets here? He says, how do you think all this stuff? Because we don't got no ships. We ain't got no planes. Because why? Because they want us to kill ourselves. Yeah, we generally agree, Furious. We generally agree. Now, the Spike Lee disciples, they say it, it's the man. It's people like, it's the white man. See, we have a common enemy, and it don't have nothing to do with skin color. We have a common spiritual enemy. If you see, it's this skin color doing it to this skin color, then you're playing right into its hands. See how that works? We have a common enemy, and it's a spiritual enemy. Spike Lee. It's nothing to do with skin color. It has to do with spiritual color. Now, that don't make no sense, and that wasn't very good, but I'm not going to edit it out. Okay? Because they want us to kill ourselves. Yeah, that's true, but it's not milk. It's not white milk. It's not milk. This email that I'll read part of is from Reu, and it's about the best explanation of what's going on here with the intentional destruction of Star Wars, all movies, and media. And for the righteous truther, I threw my TV out and I don't watch this stuff, Matt. Why you waste your... It has to do with egregores. It has to do with energy harvesting. The theme is something you should be interested in if you want to polish your armor against not milk. It has nothing to do whether you watch these movies or not. So he writes, made bad on purpose, or it's not just made bad on purpose, it's how to create thousands of hours of hate content on YouTube. What I'm showing you here, from Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, and Disparo, and all the small channels, there are thousands, there's not thousands of hours, there's hundreds of thousands of hours of hate content. There are thousands of videos how horrible the Book of Boba Fett was, and Disney Star Wars destroyed, and Disney doesn't know how to write, and now The Acolyte is horrible, and The Mandalorian Season 3. There might be millions of hours of hate content on YouTube, Rico's saying, all by design. With Star Wars, Disney has created an egregore of hate. Hate it. All the YouTubers, all following and doing exactly what Not Milk wants. YouTube rewards all the high priests, the movie reviewers, chanting their mantras of hate against Disney, and Not Milk gathers all the hate energy toward its next goal, whatever sick thing that might be. This is very interesting. Okay, it laid down what we call see the V me or whatever in 2020 on all of us. But it can't just do it without... Rico points out something very, very interesting. It must gather energy, and for how long? And gathering energy in what places in order to unleash that energy. for 2020. That's where we've talked about, once it plays a card of that magnitude, it cannot play a card of that magnitude for quite a long time. And is it used, even something as trivial as this, as making Disney Star Wars bad on purpose? This is very interesting what he proposes, it gathering up this hate energy through a gigantic hate Disney egregore that will then feed its energy needs. It's like the Jerry Lewis telethon showing its fake sponsors, and here's where we are. It shows the red line going up. Call in today and make your fake pledge, and people are like, you pledged $1,000. I never did pledge $1,000. That the line goes up. Maybe the energy line, and they have something big planned in the future, and they take it from 1,000 different places. But one of the places we know they're taking it from is this hate on Disney Star Wars. And Disney, in this way, because they need the energy for whatever big thing is coming, maybe, it's not reset, first grade truthers, but they're going to play another big hand again, like they did with the 2001 job application, like they did 20 years later on their Saturn return or whatever for C the V. They're going to do something again very, very big, and it gets bigger every time. So, this is very interesting. Is Disney completely expendable and Star Wars completely expendable from their perspective? And of course, First Grade Truthers has nothing to do with money. Disney does not have to make a penny. Of course, any corporate interest entity that serves not milk, with whatever egregore is associated with it, never needs a penny. Most of them have probably failed, and they're all bailed out by the Fed, and we've been over that. So interesting. Where did I leave off his email here? Hating all this garbage makes people acolytes of Disney. The word itself, the acolyte, it means it's not always associated with a religious service. It means a helper or follower of an important person. It starts with, an assistant to a religious service, even a dark religious service, but it filters down to a helper of any important person or goal. So he says, hating all this garbage makes people that follow the critical drinker and nerdrotic and hate on it. It makes them acolytes of the not milk itself, of Disney. So he says that's probably all there is to it. Not milk, he says, through its funding and its minions and all that serve it, create these franchises, whatever they may be, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Doctor Who, etc. Then it burns them all down to create energy for itself. Just like gasoline in an engine. The Prisoner series shows all that we need to know, that we, real spiritual beings, are number one of this reality without understanding it, and thus making ourselves prisoners. If you saw the video at freevoice.io, the key moment of the entire show, and I think a lot of people missed it, it was very, very brief and almost hard to see, was this number 6, the star of the show. He has held out, has not given in, has not given them what they want, has pushed back, has rebelled for 17 episodes. And at the end, they're going to make him the leader, and he's then introduced to the number 1. He only has access to the number 2, which is like the president of the village. Well, who's the number 1? Who's the person in charge of everything in this evil village? And he's finally introduced, and of course, it's him. It's his own face looking back at him. And in some way, we've always toyed with the idea that even these evil doers, these Melvin and Bezos, the minions of the not milk, and in some way, they would not exist without us, without a certain type of entity here. It's in some people even suggest, of course, that evil, that role player is in some way a reflection of ourselves. And I'm not really prepared to talk about that, but there is merit to that as well. If we all did what we were supposed to do, it would not have any energy, and it would likely go away. But back to what Reu is saying here, Not Milk seems to be propping itself up for something big right now with all these narratives of fear and hate. Or maybe it's just in panic mode, throwing everything at the stage to protect itself. I think neither. And this is Matt going off the email. Not big right now. I think you hit on it earlier, Reu. It needs to gather up energy wherever it can over, sometimes it seems like a 20-year cycle, to have enough to unleash its next trick or its next ruse. The 7-Eleven job application in 2001 submitted was a ruse and a trick. It doesn't matter if a building with this or that, or if a real cinder block blowed up. That doesn't matter. The real things are going to happen. It's still mostly, and it's part of a massive trick. Of course, it had to do with an 8-foot dude in a robe running around a cave and all that. 99% of what was presented was a trick. Even you can still say that whether real things were harmed or real people were affected or died. I mean, of course, it's in see the V me, whatever real happened or not, and still 99% of it was a trick. That trick requires energy. So thanks again to Riku for that very interesting email. That's, I think, almost getting us to the next level as to what's potentially going on here. I'll look to your comments to see if you agree with my final take on this. But every time they play a hand, whether it be on a 20-year cycle or whatever it may be, what they throw or whatever the scheme is larger than the last scheme, which means by default it would require more energy. See, the VME was 1,000 times larger than the 7-Eleven job application submitted in 2001. It was 1,000 times larger in terms of its effect on the world. And if this is the way they have to operate, if the next one has to be 1,000 times larger, it doesn't mean 1,000 times more harm. That's not in terms of the way people changed their lives and destroyed relationships and how it broke families, it broke society. See, the VME did it. It doesn't just mean, I'm not saying harm. Matt, you believed in that. It was germ theory. No, don't go back to that. That's not what I'm talking about. Changed reality itself and the way we live our lives and how quickly people are going to fall for the next one. And you know what? So then does the next one have to be a certain magnitude greater than the last one? If it does, per their astrology, or they're waiting for their Jupiter return or whatever that horse shit, then they need to collect up more energy between events this time than they did the last time. So just taking it here and there and little egregores taking it from the Rolling Stone concert, that's not good enough. Now they have, they need enough energy that you need to destroy all of Star Wars. So therefore you get into scenarios like, was Star Wars from the beginning scheduled to be a 40 or 50 year sacrificial lamb? If that's even the right comparison, I don't know how to talk about it. Was Star Wars created from the beginning to go down in this way for the energy harvesting, which is collected up not because they are planning something big, Riku, because they need exponentially more energy for the next event? Maybe. So what we're talking about here, again, I'll look to your comments, is the next level of understanding made bad on purpose. For years, I just struggled with what are they doing here? And we get into things like, remember what Dan, we talked about the phase of demoralization and bringing hopelessness and destroying everything that was once loved, and nothing can be destroyed as bad unless it was once great. And Dan talked about the comparison point, and that's all relevant. Don't think they ever do one thing at a time. They'll play 3-4 angles at once and 3-4-5 objectives at once. So, but what's the real reason for this? Is it just about the demoralization, destroying something you once loved? And yeah, that's absolutely part of it. But I think Riku here has taken it to the next level. And it just kind of hit this is really, there's an egregore behind the hate. That's why the Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic is now over 1 million subscribers, and Critical Drinker is very quickly, in the matter of 4 years or something, gone from, I guess I went over there at 150,000. He's 200, and I don't know. He's up to millions. I don't know. How many? Got to be around 2 million subscribers. So there's no doubt the Not Milk rewards those that are going to help feed its egregore and push the hate. And the first grade truther just says, well, why would the Not Milk want people bad mouthing it's one of its top minions at the creepy table, Disney? Why would it want Disney badmouth? The first grade truther just doesn't understand the big picture as to what's going on here. And guess what? It's always the same sentence. It's the same spiritual battle. Remember that sentence? It was basically like one long run-on sentence, but maybe it was 2 sentences. But either way, it's even understanding this reality is a whole lot less than a half page. whatever it's gathering up energy to do, whatever the next trick may be, whether millions of people are physically harmed or not, or it's just another psychological, whatever it may be, it will be, first and foremost, to stop real spiritual beings from doing what they're supposed to do. Whatever trick will be played on their next Jupiter return, or whatever star they picked and all that horse shit, will be the same sentence to assist, whatever the next major trick is, to assist in blocking real spiritual beings from preventing them from doing what they're supposed to do. That's first and foremost what everything they do is about. Even the 7-Eleven job application in 2001 and C the V, and the first grade truther says it was about the oil. But I mean, you see how ridiculous this stuff is? I mean, again, I appreciate them saying there is a conspiracy and saying there's something funny going on here, because our family and friends just believe CNN and believe that it really was a man in a robe or something roaming around caves with his stalactites and his stalagmites, making little secret calls on a walkie-talkie to Atta, whatever. Well, I can't say. I don't know what I can say here. I'd like to continue along the lines and make jokes, but they think it's that. They still think it's the guy in a cave with his G.I. Joe walkie-talkie trying to get word to what I guess Atta at the time was in Germany. I mean, they believe all that. At least the first grade truther says this is all bullshit. But they'll say it's about the money and the U.S. needed to get the oil and all. It's never about anything physical. Never. Let me repeat that. Never about money or anything. It's always about the spiritual blocking. 100%. Here's part of another email to me from Reu. They have analyzed the best creators on YouTube. The best that can give them what they want. They're giving them the biggest view counts and revenue. They can control everything with analytics to move these creators to the kind of videos expected of them. They can groom them to be the next minions, giving them a taste of big money and using their vanity against them. If the creator doesn't respond correctly, then to the next one, they go on to the next one. They simply will push another channel forward. All competition is removed artificially with algorithms and fake view counts / subscriber numbers. Yeah, what this points to is, again, we're kind of where we are. The first grade truther says everybody's in on it. They get secret messages from the aluminum Ducati window, and Men in Black must visit the critical drinker. No, almost no one's in on it. This is what Reu is saying here is exactly how it's done. That when somebody sees, of course, it's not very difficult. When the critical drinker sees that a certain type of video is getting him 15 to 20,000 subscribers a month, I get 20, by the way, 15 to 20,000 or 30, 40,000 a month, he knows to keep making those same videos. He is not going to change. It can simply, it can get what it wants from all these content creators just by the subscriber count, even if the subscriber count's not real. It can maybe 1 month it was only 10,000, they showed 50,000, and so the person's going to do more of what it thinks got them to 50,000. This is generally how it does business across the board. It shapes behavior. Yes, the download frequency, radio station, residents, the reality or the ship of fools a person chooses to be a part of. If they choose the ship of fools, then you will be on that download or radio station, etc. That's part of it as well. But also shaping behavior. That's what I'm saying. In the old days, no, 99% are in on it. No, it's the opposite. 1% have an idea, maybe, of what's going on. It's much higher level than Melvin. All right, it's whatever the old money is and whatever they're in the shadow, whatever might be in the shadows, and maybe there's nothing. It doesn't matter anymore. But for all the others, in this case, we're talking about the movie reviewers. It's just a shaping of behavior, a shaping of behavior with rewards, simple rewards and feedback. It takes me back to when Ken and I, back at Penn State, were in some science class where we saw an octopus would learn to go to the white lever and get a reward or a treat. And if it went to the black lever or whatever color it was, it would get shocked. And I would say to Ken, even the octopus can learn. Ken, Matt, you shouldn't have given him a hard. Yeah, he deserved it. I mean, he did nothing in terms of some of these classes. He got almost the same grade that I did in an English class. He would read not the Cliff Notes. He would read just the first page of the Cliff Notes, the summary on the entire Iliad, a page and a half. And he wrote some, you could do a multiple choice test, or you could write out whatever you wanted to. He'd write out this nonsense. He got almost the same grade. I put in 2 months of work on the Iliad. So it was okay that I got on him. And I said, Ken, you get away with it, but sometimes you're dumber than that octopus in the shark tank. But the octopus in the shark tank, it knows very quickly what's the reward and what's the shock. Well, it's no different than what Not Milk wants out of a YouTube channel, for example, or almost anything, any level of government, or how a politician should behave. It probably, in a way, rewards the scandal. All right, let's scroll through some of this. The videos hating on Star Wars are endless. And this is just, the videos hating on just the recent Acolyte are endless. And this is just one thing that the Not Milk has destroyed, trying to collect up its energy. I've talked about this before. These, quote, showrunners responsible for the production. This Leslie Headland, a Harvey Weinstein assistant, is responsible for the Acolyte. And I've said this before, and now I'm convinced of it 100%. Even their looks are a factor in terms of creating the hate. The unlikableness of the looks is a factor in terms of creating the hate. I mean, look, what is this thing? No doubt, it's incredible how these decisions are made. It is fascinating to me, but you know what? We don't need to know. All we need to know, I mean, this person, this famous, the 1,000 videos shows her in a kickoff rally with their radical, lunatic leftist fans, and she's going, and they've shown it over and over. She goes, yes, yes. Just, I mean, she looks likable here, but when she speaks, unlikable. Look at this, unlikable, even in the looks, in the press, all part of. Now Riku's taken us to the next level, slowly harvesting up the energy. And how does it store the hate energy that it harvests up? It'll need to then pay it off for its next big event, its next the VME 2020 or whatever it's going to pull off next. I mean, these shows couldn't be any worse. They like I've said 1,000 times, the 3rd grade or 5th grade class down the way here could do better. And I'm going to stop watching these hate videos. And guys, I understand that this isn't news to me that the Not Milk wants people watching the hate videos. I'm the guy that said it's made bad on purpose. Why would it be made bad on purpose if it doesn't want the hate? Yeah, Rigo's taken us to the next level. But I've watched it again only because it fascinated me that there has to, somebody, one of these reviewers has to, at some point, has to see that this is on purpose. And I just cannot believe it never happened. So I keep going back to it, and I hear whoever's screaming at me. If you keep this character here in the Acolyte is just horrible. Plays herself and a twin sister, plays both characters with the exact same haircut. Here she is again. Yes. I mean, look, guys. Made bad on purpose. That's from this channel, and obviously, made bad on purpose. We can kind of understand what is going on here, even in the looks. It's incredible how it does business. And Riku, in part of that email, you said the Not Milk struggling with this, or it's desperate. No, it's not. It is evil genius times 1,000,000 and in the extreme. It doesn't make too many mistakes. It is a worthy adversary, my friends. Here she is again. Yes, it's not a sexual thing. I don't know what she was doing. The whole thing about the woke. Now we know what all this is for. The woke, the girl bosses, the hate on that. It's really very simple. And Riku's taken us to the next level. It's simply about, we know it's about energy, but the next level here is storing the energy. to be used for the next big one. And it's willing to let Star Wars go down in flames. It has that all planned out too. Yes and no. Yeah, it would be willing to lose Star Wars because it's 2001 job application. It's things like that are a lot bigger than the Disney Corporation. But you'll see what'll happen. It'll harvest as much energy as it can, and people people will walk away in mass, 95%. And then guess what'll happen? Here's a prediction. They will come back with some real quality stuff and rebuild it. So it can be destroyed again in the future? Yeah, so it can be destroyed again likely in the future. In order to get that, again, to have that roller coaster run down, you got to take it to the top. To get the energy as it runs down. And they'll see diminishing returns is right about now. At some point, they'll fire Kathleen Kennedy. It'll all be part of the script. They'll get this producer and this director, and they'll get rid of Jar Jar Abrams and all this, and they'll bring in this person and that person, whoever did Dune. Maybe that's why Dune is allowed to be good. Oh, the person from Dune is going to do Star Wars. And it will be phenomenal. And everyone will rush back in, and that roller coaster will go to the top again. And their energy, the potential energy that the egregore can take through a different scheme will be set up again. Nothing this incredible from the start can truly be ruined. They'll take it to the top again with a movie. By the way, Dune 2 is good. It's not great. It's just great compared to all the trash for the last 10 years. Let's just keep scrolling, man. Can't you scroll and talk at the same time, you son of a bitch? Yeah, there it is. There's a critical drinker, nerdrotic, Acolyte hits new lows. Do they have any idea how they're being used? And if anybody's been, Matt, you have to keep on the table that your group's being used. Yeah, we do. And we see the difference between me and these people. I keep on the table that no matter how much or what we think we're getting to the bottom of, we always keep on the table that even when we think we got it figured out, we're being used and played. These people don't know that. Do they have any idea the role that they're playing? Of course not. They don't understand there's a spiritual battle taking place here. They have no clue. This just go on for. They hate the fans. They badmouth their own fans. It is amazing though why like my friend Tony just can't come to me, and it's I guess I know the answer, but it's my same frustration. My friend Tony can't come to me and say, Matt, it just doesn't make sense how they badmouth the fans every time, and aren't they supposed to, Matt? Aren't they supposed to be trying to make money? Yes. Yeah, it will never happen because those smack on the ship of fools, they can't see any of it. They're on the frequency where they'll never see any of it. Look at this. Piers Morgan, just another. No matter what he says that may seem to push back on Not Milk, it's his role. The friction, it needs two sides. There has to be friction for energy to be created. Woke, this and that. Well, Riku, you've taken us to the next level, and we thank you. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow at freevoice.io. Yes! I'll leave you with this. What would the puppet Yoda be doing if he saw this horse shit? Horse shit! Thanks for listening.